Are you getting your nails painted again?
Every week. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live filming of our podcast. It's weekly every Sunday, from BBR Productions.com. We're talking today, JD and I, about some basically what to do when you're releasing a film, a band, a music album, or a comedy special, or anything. You have a product and you want to release it. What do you do? That's what we're talking about today on the show. This is behind the scenes. We're going to be showing you what we do to set up the studio, what it takes. The advantage of behind the scenes is you get to ask questions. Basically, if you have intrigue to the topic at hand and or the subject matter we are talking about, feel free to splat it out on the comment section. Woo! Yeah. As you can see, feel free to talk on the Talkie-Balkie chat room. That's it. So we're going to finish setting up.
Right now we're setting up the microphones.
Microphones.
Hey, you got a microphone?
Hey, wait, sit down. I think that's a good Oh, no, I got to move it a little. Sit down, sit down.
I'm sitting.
Sit it down. Yeah, I just got to move it a little bit that way.
Can't hear anything.
Does that look good?
Yeah, that's fine. Sit down.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Look at that.
That's a good.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do?
Get snacks?
I got somebody asked me about this. Let's just get that. Yes, the sun is smiling. Red rose too. Alright, so the secret is, since I'm going to be talking, it's either this way or this way, depending on what kind of volume you want.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. So you see, there's no image there.
Yeah.
On the other side is an image. I like the no image when I'm talking.
Okay.
And then the other aspect is you always kind of want this. We want this away from the mouth.
Okay.
So, yeah. Just so you know. So you know my setup. What else do we need?
My headphones, if they're over there, please.
They are.
Can you-
Is it okay that they're broken?
Perfect that they're broken.
I'm gonna go get some extension cords.
Thank you. You're so kind. Plug in. Plugged in. Beautiful. And we're hanging out, plugging stuff in. Plug it in, plug it in.
And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. What?
That was me waiting for the song to continue.
Oh, yeah. Continue this song.
That's a song.
Can you do me a favor?
I can.
Can you?
Glad I can help.
I got it. Yeah. I'll do it. Oh, my back. My back. Oh.
When did you get it back?
Is this even on? Does it say it's charged? Yeah, it's charged. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Nobody. That's just doing all right. Did you ever try?
Tried so hard.
I don't even matter. Whoa. I know what I need.
Snacks?
No. I need those chips.
8, 30, 20, 20.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun games. Oh, could you do me a favor?
Huh?
Actually, I'll do it for you.
Well,
All right.
but I could help. Oops. Oh, there's a dog.
Live chat is on. Look at that, huh? Cool.
Hello.
Hello! Is it me you're looking for?
I can see it in your eyes.
I can feel it in your thighs.
Yeah.
Holy hot!
My fingers are burnt off.
Hello? 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 Is anyone there? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Hello.
This nightmare for you. Hey, period.
Hello.
I got it. I'll talk in mine so you can get my phone.
Hello.
Voice. Yeah, give it over you. Get over you.
Hello.
Yeah. What the? Where's my headphones? Where's my headphones, huh? I got headphones? I can hear a thing. I don't hear me.
I know.
All right. Where's my mic? Which one's mine? Number 2? Okay, you ready? Can I go?
No.
Holy crap.
Hello.
Are you still doing you?
Hello.
Oh.
You hear anything?
I can't hear anything out of my headphones. Do you hear anything out of your headphones? The headphones are way up. Oh.
Hello.
Master. No. Put master on middle. You always put master in middle.
It was on.
It was off all the way.
Yeah, no.
And then that should be there. Here.
La.
I heard something.
Me too. Whoops. That's right.
Is it active?
Mm-hmm.
This guy over here. All right.
Sailing. Ooh, that was where my thing thought.
Hello? Hey, I don't hear me. I can't hear. Hello? Check. Oh, there's something. Hello? Wait. Just double checking. Hello? Okay, that's pretty loud.
Yeah.
1 second. Is it peaking yet?
You lowered it.
Oh, it was peaking though?
No, it was getting there. Keep
Oh,
going.
hello? Check.
And into the microphone.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
That's weird. Is there effect on the output
There's no effect on the output.
for the headphones? Because sometimes you can have an effect on the output that doesn't affect the recording.
There is not. I literally have everything off.
All right.
So let's do a test record. You ready?
Yeah, testicles.
This is one of them testicle records.
Hey,
Here we are.
JD, right?
Testicles. I think my name is Greg today.
Greg.
Greg.
It's always Greg's fault.
I know. All right. Let's listen to that. Now it's that level.
Hello?
I sound really nasally.
You? No, you're just Jewish.
No, well, that's totally accurate.
This is very accurate.
Oh.
What happened? Somebody said something here. Is this Leo? Oh, it's baby Lebowski.
Oh.
It's soggy biscuit capitalistic invention that arrived from communism. To be honest, I think it marinated in both, and then just everyone's just trying to take responsibility for it, and that's where we're going to create World War III over basically the biscuit. Who's the champion? have biscuits.
Who is Crack?
Who is and what does he do?
Let's make some tea. Then I will go pee.
You haven't peed yet?
I peed like 15 times
I thought
today.
we talked about this. You're gonna not pee for a month.
I don't think that's how this works.
Yeah, no, I think you were trying to beat the world record or something like that.
What is the world record for not peeing?
I don't know. Look it up. It's definitely something to spend time on. No. Spending time on things. It's just nothing to it.
I disagree.
I digress. Pee. Why are you peeing?
What kind of tea do you want?
Chamomile? I don't know. I guess I'll take chamomile.
Oi, chamomile.
Boy, chamomile. Nothing wrong with a little chamomile. Whoa! With the racism.
I got sticky stuff.
You are sticky stuff.
I mean, not today. I got a shower.
When?
This morning.
I don't believe me. Oh boy. That's how you break things. Cereal.
Cereal is made of cereal.
I don't know if you can hear this, but the dog is chewing everything. Look at that. Look at that. That's a good shot. Ooh. Oh, damn. 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 Look at that. Damn. Who?
Well, I just proved to tell that myself.
Why?
I mean, it seemed like the thing to do with that.
It makes sense. Definitely makes sense. See, that's pretty good there. Can you feel the love tonight? Kings and baggy buns.
About baggy buns?
Who?
Saggy buns?
Saggy buns?
Why are there buns?
Why are my buns so saggy?
What happens?
There it is. That's a good shot.
I got you some tea.
Oh, you're the base, Mr. JD's.
Mr. JD's go pee.
Hey, if you're joining us on the live feed, we're basically behind the scenes of putting together the podcast before we go live to film the show. And of course, we'll keep the live feed going during the show so you, the audience, can ask us questions pertaining to the topic of today's show, which, by the way, if you look at the chat box, you'll be able to see what we're talking about today. Good news, doggy.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I did my makeup too.
What? Hey, can you do it? Oh, never mind. You're busy. Never mind.
Glad I could help.
Could you sit in my seat? Could you sit in my seat?
Yeah, coming over right now.
That's what she said.
I got some coffee. Specifically spelled coffee.
Look at that. That's gonna be good.
I am Thomas.
Yeah, you're sure of that. All right, go sit in your chair.
When did I get a chair?
Thursday.
Oh.
Are you there yet?
Yes.
Right, sit down. How
Oh.
about now?
No.
Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me your name?
Hi, my name is Ted.
Whatever.
All right, we're shutting up. Where's the other thing? Where's the thing?
What do you need?
Want to go do the
And this. Good luck. Merchandising.
with the real money from the movie?
which is 100% accurate.
That is true. No Brooks.
100% true. Hey, what is up? How's it going? How is life? Where's your wife? Oh yeah, my phone is officially charging. Speed charger. Period.
When did you become Imperial?
Thursday.
Oh. All right. Let's go to BBR. BBR.
Where?
Over here.
I don't know what's going on. How do I look? Do I look good? Hey, I got my hair going.
Let's see.
Yeah. Just for the record, off air. So only the people watching live will hear this. I had an ex-girlfriend tell me as an insult that I'm basically going bald, and he was, you're just the ugly 40-year-old man who's going bald.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Was she blind?
I think she was.
And devoid of touch.
Look, see, I have lots of grays. I love the grays. Look at that. Oh, let me tell you about that. My back is thin with hair.
I have hair once.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna. Whoa, this is nice. This is nice.
I like it when it's like right behind the thing.
I know. I did that on purpose. I call this my. Oh, something's going on with the chicka again.
I think it might be my phone next to it.
It has to be the phone. It definitely has to be.
My phone wasn't next to it last time, so maybe it's cables.
I don't know what it is.
Phantom power.
It's not Phantom.
It's a Phantom mystery for sure.
Hey, that's what I'm talking.
We need to call Scooby-Doo.
My only concern with Twitch is it's so far away, we can't really see the comments to answer those questions, which is a little. We got to figure something out for that.
Hello.
Oh, I think I have a solution.
What's the solution?
Maybe have Twitch on your computer and then have.
We tried that. I need to download the stuff and have it downloaded.
No. We're not watching Twitch. We're just. You're just on the page watching the.
I say we can do that. Pull it up.
Yeah. Well, more specifically, we're not filming Twitch on your computer. We're just.
Yes, I see.
And then if you shrink the windows to be next to each other, you'll be able to see both. Both articles. That's my suggestion. I'm just trying to think out loud here.
Continue thinking, please.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You got one of them thinking brains.
I started using
everybody.
it recently, and it's worked out pretty well so far.
In the Facebook land, we're now live in the Facebook.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor? Can you just hit the record red button right there?
The record red button.
Right there. Boom. Shalaka laka laka. Is it on? Is it on?
It is.
Red.
There's a red dot. Red dot.
There we go. Can you see the camera in that camera shot? Look in that camera. Do you see the camera in that camera shot?
No.
You don't, right? Right.
No.
What is that noise? You heard that, right? I don't know what it is, man.
It's really weird.
It is weird. It's so weird. I'm taking note to it. Oh, look. Do I got good posture? Is this good posture?
Let's see.
Let's bring this up more. I feel taller than I am, but I know I'm tall. I also like doing I like to sit up as straight as possible. I realize that's not going to be very possible.
Oh, look, I can see us.
You can see?
I can.
All right. Right?
So let's do that. Do what I can do.
And then you can look at the comments, right? You can see who's talking.
Yeah.
Does it load up the old ones or?
Hello from us.
It's not showing the most recent comments? See this?
Oh,
See?
that's us.
We missed a few recent ones up there. I can't see them. See?
Oh, look, I'm pointing out myself now.
Oh my God. Well, let's see what it says on there now moving forward.
It says hello.
Before that says, like the t-shirt, JD, nice blast from my childhood. Oh yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for the compliment.
All right, so
Let's
do we got everything?
yeah, you're ready. Right.
Oh, I need my phone. Yeah.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? All right, I'm gonna do record.
You don't have to. Dad, could I mess everything up? I know you're a dog. Recording?
It is recording.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk to the mic?
I can talk to Mike. How do I sound?
You sound gorgeous. Ooh.
BBR. Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Tweet.
We can go live on Twitter too, I think.
Well, I don't think we have enough functions to do that, but we could.
We need another device.
Yeah. We're divisive in our own.
Dog, can you go on the internet?
Yeah. Yeah, it could.
You stuck up the dog.
We're live now. All right. So today's show, before we start the show, because we're still in live behind the scenes show, just so you know, the show you're watching today is not necessarily going to be the show that airs on Thursday, because we trim it down and we clean up the show and we make it a little bit nicer. Hey, Quiggy, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a long time, buddy.
Hi.
Hey. So what we do is with the live, it allows you guys and gals to ask questions while we're talking about certain subject matters, topics, and today happens to just be about what you're supposed to do when releasing a product. For example,
A media product
like a band album, a comedy special, a film, something like that. All right. So more importantly, this show cleaned up on YouTube for the real actual thing. There'll actually be the episode pretty much straight through without it's just cleaned up version of it. It's just streamlined. Anyway, so we try to give you a little bit of something. With that said, hey, this is Thomas J. Bellezza with JD McGibney.
Howdy, everybody.
Hey, and I just want you to know I don't make this stuff up, and that's true. So today's subject that we're going to talk about some things that you should do, would do if you knew what you could do when you do what you do passionately. Still have survival jobs and they're trying to make a career, making some money doing what they're doing. They're passionate. As somebody sees, well, Martin Scorsese made a film. If I make a film, I'll make money, right? If Dane Cook makes a comedy special and I make a comedy special, I will make money. But that's not necessarily the truth. Making something, building it, and they will come is not necessarily true. It's a misconception. And this show basically likes to simplify the actual process. And we're going to talk about that today.
Misconceptions.
Exactly. So for the fun of it, I'm going to ask JD what he would do. And then I'm going to tell you what you should do. But the reason is because JD has not got 20 plus years in the industry. He's not necessarily an expert in the consulting aspect of marketing, developing, and things like that with the entertainment industry. He's learning. He's been working with me for over 6 years about. I've been teaching him. He's a full-time musician who makes a living doing music. He's toured the world, literally. Going
in my Ninja Turtle pajama pants.
In your Ninja Turtle pajama, and you would point at things going, that's nice.
Yes.
Look at that. I can't wait to come back to this. But he's still, we have the privilege of him still having the mindset, 1 foot in artist brain and 1 foot in business brain, whereas I am all business brain.
It's really weird because like one side's like all really hot, and the other one's all really cold. It's like being in a car that has like the two sides of like you can control like the temperature.
That's what she said.
I'm like right in the middle.
You are right in the middle. I will say this though. I don't have an artist brain, but I have an artist creative process. And what's the difference is we talk about it often on our channel. On the show. Artist brain is basically anyone who makes choices based on the success of their creation. So whatever they're working on, business brain goes, there is a process to making what I created successfus. And those are the two big differences. So an artist might go, hey, if I make a painting and I show the painting, I will make money. Whereas the business brain will go, I don't care what I paint, because I can sell it because I'm doing everything I need to do to build up my business and my company. With that said, anyway, JD, how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a cup of coffee.
Cool. Small
Sit
talk.
down.
I love this part.
Yeah, me too.
Average 5'9".
I mean, those are some pretty tall words.
Look,
Normally,
I don't mean to be
like,
short with you, but let's move. Going back. Going back. Anyway, how you been doing? Like, how's working?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
With you every day
Oh God, yeah. I've seen you there.
without any shoes on.
Is my dog annoying?
No,
He's sure because he just stares at me all day.
but see, the thing is, he knows that that's your trigger.
I know.
He stares at me, and he knows I'm just gonna pet him.
Yeah, you're gonna
He's
like,
like,
I don't care that he's shitting on the floor. You know. We get this done. Anyway, I don't make this. So, JD, let me ask you something, right? You were in a band, right?
I've been in several.
Several. Well, before touring and everything.
Oh, so you're saying like before I met you?
Before you met
Before I
me,
met
you were in a band. So, what your purpose was to make a living with music, right?
That was my goal.
All right. Now, in this band, did you think, hey, we should just have an album, or was there a purpose to the album? Or you're like, hey, if we make an album, people will buy the album, and we can make money with the album.
That was pretty much the collective idea.
So how'd that conversation go? Tell me. I would like to hear from behind the curtain.
I'm trying to remember exactly how the conversation went because this is
What, 15 minutes ago?
no, geez, this is 12 years ago.
I have an idea for a fundraiser. What we're going to be talking about today will show you why that idea was making an album.
He's master Yoda me right now.
I am.
The idea
Yoda,
was that we had the misconception that as a band we have to make music, and that is what draws people to us is the thing that we were making. So we were like, oh, let's make music. We'll play shows, and then people were like, oh, in the band we're like, let's make an album.
Now, why let's make an album just because you're playing shows?
Because and then we can have albums.
How much did the album cost?
Trying to remember altogether.
Well, let's start.
I think roughly altogether it was between 2,000 and 5,000, maybe even less, because we ended up having a friend that did the
Oh, I love when friends do it.
To get that everything.
So $2,000.
So $2,000.
And how much did you spend on marketing?
We did not.
You sell a CD to like a friend?
Yes.
And how many times did that friend buy that same CD?
Once.
And how many times did they come to shows?
A lot.
A lot. So my question is, if they showed up to 10 shows, they're taking the place of 9 other people to potentially buy that CD. And the problem with supporting yourself through your friends and family and then rehearsal space, right? And then you're like, hey, Bob, welcome to the show. You want to buy a CD? And he's like, of course, man. I'm your friend. I love you guys. And then they buy it. And then they come to the next show. And you go, hey, Bob, you want to buy another CD? Is it a new album? I'm not going to buy it twice. I just...
There's also another thing I think that that should be brought up is the fact of selling physical CDs and records is significantly declining nowadays, so people can just go and listen to things on.
That's not the point.
I'm just saying a side note.
But an album is still something a musician wants to create, and there's nothing wrong. Let me get this straight. There's nothing wrong with creating art. There's nothing wrong with creating an album, a film, even like a 4-minute independent film or like a 2-hour independent. There's nothing. So what we're going to talk about real quick is since we're on bands, we're gonna talk about bands first. So in a situation of making an album, right? Let me ask you an honest question. Okay.
Do you not normally ask me honest questions?
Not on the show. No, most of them are made up. They're pre. I basically go back and in post I edit out what I had asked you and put in new questions. So usually I'm like, why do frogs wear hats? And then you're like, the reason I was touring for so long on no.
Funny story.
So seriously though, let's go back. Going back. When you were in the band, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you decided as a band, hey, let's make an album, okay? At what point, so what kind of social media marketing were you doing?
The social media marketing that we were doing, we were being active, interacting with like other band pages, other like
Yeah, same
like
one. Don't just say interact and tell me what you're doing.
We would just comment on things, but the main,
Like what?
I don't remember off the top of my head. If somebody posted something,
Yeah,
we would interact as the band. But our main push
Yeah.
was literally video today. We
Okay.
wouldn't share any kind of emotional experience. We wouldn't be like, oh, so and so ate an entire sandwich in the recording booth while recording a solo with their pinky.
Which is weird because they're not even in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the drummer. Just kidding. Drummers aren't musicians. So I can't.
Don't lie to these
Yeah,
people.
no,
Dun, 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 dun.
2 6 notes.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, that's not even correct. What is it? Go ahead.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, all right, moving on. So you'd be like, hey, we're in the studio today, and that was about it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then we would say stuff like, "Oh, you guys are excited? You guys are gonna, we would tell people that their expectation would be for the product."
Yeah. So you're taking away their chance to develop an opinion on it. You're just telling them this is great.
Yeah, we would say this is your opinion.
Now, the reason you don't say this is great is because if they hear it and it's not to their level, it's the same reason that with women, I tell them I have small genitals, and I go, look, my schlong is really tiny. Because if it's bigger than what their expectation of tiny is, but anyway, but that's jokes aside, that's the reality of it. If you tell people their expectation and then it's
lower than the expectation,
you lose. So it's always best to keep it vague but informative. What would that say?
And also share your own personal emotional experience. This way, there's
your perspective of that emotional experience.
Because there's no way for people to argue that because it's from your perspective. They just go, "Oh, that's his perspective."
Yeah, no one can say no one can say you're wrong about how you feel about it, but they can say, "I don't agree with your opinion. Like, why would you say this was the best experience in your life?" Well, it wasn't. So now I can't buy anything else you suggest because you've lost trust with me, and that's what branding is. Branding is maintaining that trust. So if McDonald's says the slogan, "I'm loving it," you can't contest that. There's no way. There's no way you could say, well, in your adventure, you can't really tell people what to expect. You have to just tell them what you're saying. We could eat Burger King because their burgers are at least the size of a burger. McDonald's is like, hey, do you want this patty? No, because it's literally a slice of paper with like what looks like rice onions.
I know, it's great.
So what do you do when you're releasing an album? So let's say you're a band, you're like, oh, we got to release an album, man. We need this album. The album's going to be awesome. To make the album successful, you have to do a few things. The first and foremost is you literally, as you're writing the songs, you need to talk about that on social media. But you got to talk about your emotional perspective. You're going to be like, oh, man, I had a great time today at rehearsal. Right? And you're keeping it vague but informative, but in your perspective. But this is the issue. If there's 5 people in the band, there should be 5 opinions. There should be 5 perspectives. And then the band's perspective. So the band's brand should be talking about the album from the collective experience. Or even like, let's say you're Guar and you're like, we killed 12 souls to make this new album. And, there's 3 more souls to go. Like you as an individual might not say that. But the point is, yeah. The reason we're not, by the way, this is only like step 1. The reason you start talking about that emotional adventure is because people can latch on to the experience. They can have empathy for your winnings, your failings, and even your triumphs from, persevering, right? So we, as an audience, may not be able to relate to you writing a song. Like I wrote a song today, right? But we can relate to how you feel about doing something you're passionate about. Like I might be a writer, you're a musician, or someone's an artist, and you're like, oh, I had a little trouble trying to figure out, how to make 2 parts really connect, but I love working with my fellow musicians because, jokes aside, we're laughing, but we're also making things happen, right? I could relate with that. Oh, I have trouble trying. I actually have writer's block.
Yeah, just because you have superpowers when it comes to being creative.
No, you know what the trick is to breaking writer's block? Is even if you're not writing what you're working on, no, you just write. You just start writing. You write a thought. Like, what are you thinking about? I'm having writer's block today. You just start writing that And then you start talking about your feeling. That's one method, is you just write. You look at something, you go, oh, white wall. Oh, look at the white wall. And then you describe the wall, and it gets your brain working. Also, if you write every day, even for, 5 to 10 minutes, you're training yourself to write. And that's why, my job is to write. I have to write when I can't just be like, well, I know I have to finish the script for the client, but, ultimately, I just need inspiration. I can't do that. I'm not allowed to. So I had to train myself. But anyway, back to the band. So on the foundation, the least thing you have to be doing is talking about literally today. I'm in band practice. We came to the conclusion that we need to make an album. So our goal is to make an album. Now, I didn't give a date. I didn't say in a year we'll have an album, because you want to be vague but informative. And also, you don't want to set deadlines to the audience and then not.
We had the album, we did the album, everything. We had a album release party, album release show scheduled. And we set a date for everything, but we got ahead of ourselves and we have the album ready for the album release.
I'm just going to say it. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right.
It was a learning curve.
You know, it'd be amazing if you had somebody to tell you what to do, and then you still relied on your own learning curve so you can experience it for yourself. Those people drive me nuts, JD.
You're welcome.
JD, do it like this. Yeah. What are you doing? Well, I want to kind of like figure it out on my own. All right, I'll see you in 5 years. Because it took me 5 years to master what I just told you to do in 10 seconds, which is a funny thing. Going back. So as you're creating that, we want to work on that there, but more than 2 minutes of watching a band play a song you're wasting everybody's time.
On a cell phone video.
Jesus. Anyway, but the other thing you could do is,
in order to create a piece of art,
or even more so, they could be audio of, like, say you and I just talking about, like, like, oh, it's funny how we came up with that riff where we were working on this song, and then we actually work. And then while you're talking about that, there's footage of you guys playing, even though what you're talking about doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what's being shown. It's still a visual. It's
you heard your roommate doing it, and you decided to write a rhythm to it.
Sorry about that.
Wow.
But anyway, those are known as pattern interrupts. But you're keeping people interested in the video, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing is, you should be doing interviews. So before I go any further, the problem with a lot of musicians, filmmakers, comedians, writers, they'll be like, I have the product done, now I can start talking about it. It's the rabbits from the Holy Grail.
Is it behind the rabbit?
Listen, I forget who I'm talking to. You have seen 0 movies in your life.
It is the rabbit.
It is the rabbit. Something going to do. Anyway, so a band will release an album, they'll finish the album, then they start going, we have an album, you should buy the album, let's do interviews. We have an album, you should buy the album. And there's nothing for your audience to connect to. That's why during the journey of creating this album, which might take 6 months to a year, you should be doing interviews. You should be getting press, newspapers, podcasts, FM or AM, college, and not to get your music heard. That's the big mistake here.
Because your music is not as important as the band.
Well, you can't connect to music if you don't know what you're listening to. So most of the time you don't know what the words are. Other times, you're going to get to the point where you either like it or you don't like it. But if you're listening to someone talk, you can develop a relationship through that conversation. Oh, I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I kind of agree with what you're saying there. Oh, I've been in that situation. And you're self-relating. But with a song, you either like press interviews, reading, even just, written interviews. You're allowing people the opportunity to explore who you are, your brand, and connect to that brand. So then when you do finally, after a year of talking about this album, talking about coming up with the songs, talking about you wrote a song that you really love, but you got voted down and the song didn't get on the album, but you really love that song. Hopefully it'll be on the next album. But the other songs, how good the other songs are. Even though, again, you're not talking about titles, you're not talking about the music, you're talking about your experience, your disappointments. And then you're like, but ultimately I really loved how the 7 or 8 songs came out, right? And now when the album finally comes out, people already bought into the idea that they want to experience what you've been talking about for a year.
And they've been part of the journey this entire time. So I want to hear what the final product is.
Completely a part of the journey. Now, this is what happens. when a band releases an album, what would you do if you released an album? How would you release the album without my knowledge?
Without your knowledge?
Yeah, like how was your band going to release the album on the day that was actually there was no album? What was your goal, and how did you set it up?
Well, the way we had done it was, one, we had scheduled the show before the album was done, which is mistake number one.
Yeah.
So we didn't even have a physical product.
Were you guys in your 20s?
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So our goal was to go to the show, have a bunch of people, start selling the album.
So,
but once we had the album, afterwards we ended up going, hey, what can we do to get this more widespread? This is before Spotify and
yeah.
And
so what was your idea?
So we ended up trying to basically get distribution. So we had gotten into FYE. We were trying to get into Hot Topic, and we're trying to go get our stories.
So you self-distributed?
We self-distributed.
Did you? It was a consignment, or they bought the CDs from you?
It was consignment.
All right. So we don't consider that distribution, and the reason is because you didn't get paid for it. If those things didn't sell, you have to pick them up and take them. Now, distribution is usually based on somebody prepaying for it, and then they can sell it for whatever they want, and you make a small fee. So literally, if you sold the album, how much was one album per? Like if you broke down the entire cost, what was the cost of, say, 10,000 copies?
I don't know, because I don't remember the exact numbers.
All right. Well, if you spent 1,000 on 1,000 CDs,
well, I said
which doesn't make any sense. It should have been at least $2,500 for 1,000 CDs. But
for a dozen CDs?
No, for 1,000 CDs.
Oh, no, we didn't get it.
You bought a dozen?
No. I thought you said a dozen.
No, 1,000, because it's more than $1. It's like it's $2.50 for a booklet, a CD, and about, well, at least this. Were you just buying like the paper one?
No, we had a jewel case with a.
So it's probably like $1.50.
It had 4 pages. It was the cover, inside, back.
And that was $1?
No. That was. We were selling it for 10.
Jesus.
But if you're doing the math, we ended up getting.
Yeah, but how much was the?
I'm trying to do the math. I don't remember how many we got.
All right. Well, you think about it and get back to it.
250.
Oh yeah. So.
500 did we get?
Oh Jesus, really?
No, I think we had like 250.
And that cost $1,000.
It was like 8 something.
8 something. So 8 times 4 is 16, $3,200. It would cost you for 1,000. All right, that makes sense. All right. So with that said, anyway. So what's 3,000 divided by 10? Well, let's say the CDs are 250.
Well, divided by 10, it's 300.
I meant 1,000. Right? But is you could have went to whatchamacallit, the FYE, right? And you could have said, hey, we want to sell some of our albums, and but our distro price is $5 an album. And they're going to come counter you, and they're going to say, that's a little high for us. And then you can't go lower than $3. So now you say, well, how about you buy 20 at $4? Aren't understanding, like people who don't understand business, is you're trying to create longevity. You're trying to create consistency. So if you're like, you can have my CD for $20, now they're like, I'm never buying a CD from this person again because I just spent literally a week's worth of lunch. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is you say to this distributor, $4. And they're like, you know what? That's still a little high. And you go, all right, the lowest I can go is $3.50, even though really the lowest you can go is $3. And then they go, you know what? I'll do that. So now they buy 60, what is that? It's $90. So you basically made $100.
So you made, in theory, in this situation, we would have made enough money to have covered the cost of producing those things, plus made a little bit more on top.
Yeah, and that money should have went back into, based on how fast you sold the CDs, back into distribution. So if you printed 1,000 CDs and you sold it in a month, there's still a demand, so you can sell more, right? It's like Steve Jobs. Does anyone know Steve Jobs? He's this guy who helped Apple become something. He's a small guy. He's done really nothing with his life.
He wore a lot of turtlenecks. He
loved turtlenecks, which is weird because none of them were made of turtles. Anyway, what he would do is he'd go around and just sell. He wouldn't put it on consignment. He would sell X amount of motherboards based on the design that the Apple designed. And then he would start selling X amount of models. So he would go to markets, right? Like there's these, for film, there's the American film market. So you would go there and try to sell your film, and then people would distribute it, but they would pay you to distribute it. right? So think of your album like selling computers. Like, hey, we'll sell you this many computers at dirt cheap, and then you could sell Apple yet. It wasn't like Apple was making their own computers. They were just creating a thing that had a need, right?
Yeah. It's the motherboard originally.
Right? So your album is technically like the motherboard.
Ooh.
But your job is to make $10 or $20 on one CD. Your job is to make sure you can sell 10,000 CDs and make $1.50 per CD, right? And or $2.50 or even $3.
Oh, going back to the original thing. You said,
Well, yeah. Because if it's $2.50, well, you're not making $2.50 if you sell for $3.50. You're making $1.50. You're making $1.
because it's over.
You're making $1. So you're making $1. But if you could sell 10,000 CDs, you just make $10,000. Now, is it better to sell 10,000 CDs and make $1, right? Or is it better to sell, if any? How many CDs do you feel you sold out of those $2.50?
Oh, we definitely didn't sell all of them because I still have a whole bunch.
So let me get this straight.
Maybe 100.
You were selling them for $10. You had $2.50 of them, and you couldn't even make back your quantity.
Correct.
Right? But if you had done it the other way, you would have been selling CDs, and now you wouldn't be responsible for selling to individuals. You'd be selling them to what's known as clusters. So the cluster would be going to a store, getting them to buy 20 CDs. Moving on. So the first thing is, when you decide to make an album, talk about that until the album's done, and then beyond. You talk about the release of the album, all that stuff, right? And then you have to also get interviews, reviews, all before the album's even done. You got to do this during the process. And then once the album is done, you got to continue to do all these.
So you have to build interest in them.
And then maintain that, yeah. No. You're building interest in what people are connecting to empathetically, and then they're like, "What is it you're selling?" Right? And then the other thing is, if you're going to do distribution, which we're going to talk about with film too, is the idea is like you have to sell it at a cheaper value, right? Anyway, moving on. How much were the tickets for them to see your show? How much would the tickets have been to see your performance of the CD release party?
If I remember correctly, I think $10.
$10, and then you were selling the CD for 10. So it wasn't a guaranteed sale, right? And you were charging people $20 basically if they did the whole kit and caboodle, right? Imagine you charged them $15. You're creating a return on their value, right? It's not about you. CD, and you get to see the show, right? But then now you've created the opportunity for packages, right? Let's just ignore shirts and stickers and all that crap, right? Because shirts are so expensive, they're not worth buying until you didn't pay for. People donated, the companies donated to these baggies. So the person who got into the Oscar, which it costs money for them to go to the Oscars, you know, right? So they pay to go to the Oscars, but it's so much money. But then they get a baggie that's worth $25,000. It's worth it. So if you as a band, which we're going to talk about with film too, you as a band, if you had the package of $10 gets you the show and a CD, then you have the $40 package, which gets you the CD, the show, and then you get to come back and hang out with the band before the show even starts, right? You get pizza, but you also get a bag. Outreach, getting a part of the community, giving you things, sponsoring the show, that they give things for free. And that $60, that $40, whatever, is actually paying for, say, $250 worth of baggy stuff. Now, what are you creating, though? You're creating an actual event, and it's not about you. They're being rewarded the entire time to support you. And that $40, though, you're making more money than $10 for the show and $10 for the CD. But that money shouldn't go to you. You haven't earned the right to have that money yet because the band isn't making X amount of dollars based on the overhead expense.
The band is a business.
The band is a business. You're supposed to be paying yourself salaries based on the earnings of that company. And if your band company isn't making the money yet, that money stays in the company and then reinvests in itself to make more money. All right. Now,
it's got to be able to grow.
That's right. So if the first show is, say, on Long Island, and they have the $10 and the $40 option, what's your next goal?
Not be on. All right. So my question is, would you consider Brooklyn separate from the Long Island thing? From the Long Island, or would you be like Brooklyn is technically on
Brooklyn and Queens is Long Island.
Because I know a lot of people.
But it is also part of the boroughs.
But living in Brooklyn.
I was in Brooklyn. I said I'm from Brooklyn, but I knew I lived on the island. But that's neither here nor there.
So it was a philosophical.
It was philosophical.
Thank you for.
Anyway. So if you're doing the CD release party and your market, which for you would have been Long Island, that's show one. Then you kind of expand to Manhattan, you do a show out there. And then you go wherever your next audience is. It might be Jersey, it might be Connecticut, whatever the deal is. But your job isn't just be like, hey, we have a show out there. Your job is to start building some awareness out there over the course of 6 months, 3 months minimum. And you do that by getting interviews, reviews. You go out there, get on the radios, things like that, right? And all this is where your CD release party is designed to make you money by rewarding your audience, okay? The other thing is you could start saying, hey, by the way, if the $40 ticket will donate a percentage of that, say 25% of the ticket will go to a foundation.
No.
Now, why do you think your band never thought of these things?
I think that one, none of us were specifically business savvy. That's definitely the first thing.
Okay.
I think also that we didn't have mentors that would have been like, oh, these are viable options. And I think that none of us did the proper research into, what these kind of possibilities were.
There's little to no ability to research these things, but what research is how business works, which isn't necessarily business works wouldn't have showed you to do what I just told you to do. It would have showed you is what you're doing, is the ROI of your expense to create give you a strong ROI. So if your return on investment, if it's crappy, as a business person, you go, we're not ready for this. That's what it is. And then you could say, well, how could we be ready for this? What are things that could garner interest or reaction, right? The other thing is you're relying on artistry. You were like, our CD will make us money. If we make our CD, tons of people will show up.
If we make it, they will come.
Yeah, they definitely will come and never again, because they'll be like, Jesus, he's gonna ask me. Hey, how's it going? Hey man, I was just wondering, man, how you doing? I'm doing okay, but what's up? Oh no, we're at the same party. I just wanted to say hi, man. Oh, cool. Hey, great.
I love that
what are you doing Saturday?
I love that when you do these skits, I can just watch.
Yeah, you can just watch. Wait, what do you mean? What am I doing Saturday? Oh, just wondering. You're busy Saturday? No. Oh, you know what's cool? My band is playing another show. Oh, did you just play last Saturday? Yeah. I'm busy. I got things to do. My favorite response is, hey man, I got a show coming up. Oh, I'm busy. I didn't tell you when the show is. Oh, I'm sorry. When is it? Oh, July 4th. Yeah, I'm busy. Anyway, moving on. In the day.
Which you did.
Yeah, when you were with the band though.
So when I was earlier with the band?
Yeah.
I would have been like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Yeah, how crazy do you think I would have sounded?
I definitely would have been very confused and been like, this doesn't make any sense. But then again, because you would have been, when I did meet you, you were literally the first person to teach me, that a band is a business and should be run as a business.
Yeah.
So even when I met you, when I was ready to listen and take in the information. So had I met you earlier, I would have been like, I think if I had met you earlier, I would not have been anywhere near ready to listen to the advice. Yeah,
because you only knew what you knew, and what you knew was right in your head. Well, I'm not an idiot. I know how to do it. Who's this person who I don't know telling me how to do what it is I know how to do? But like when you.
But again, what convinced me when you originally told me everything was the fact that I had a day job.
Yeah.
I was doing let me have a plan B by going to college for something that had nothing to do with what I wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
I had been doing music for so long and you had no day job. You had your own business. You were telling me that you followed your own rules. You were telling me that you followed the the rules that you were telling us.
Yeah.
And that's how you got to where you were. And I'm like, oh, if he's able to do this by following the teachings that he's trying to teach us, he has to be telling the truth. It's like, I have a day job, he does not.
Yeah. But the truth is, my day job was my career. Like that was the genius of it. So like,
let me rephrase that. I had a survival job. You did that.
That's right. My survival job was in my field of interest. In fact, my theater gave me the ability to act, the ability to write my television shows. And during that time, I was in discussions with MGM Studios. I would have never been able to put the time they were asking for an episode, and I had to write the episode in a week. I would have never been able to do that if I had to dedicate 5 days of about 40 hours for that week to a job I had no interest in. I would have had to been like, I got to take a 2-week vacation because I need to write this. And then if I did that, at the end of that 2-week vacation, MGM was like, give me another episode. And I'd be like, oh, I don't have any more vacation time. I'm going to be exhausted. But my life, sleep is a crutch. My life has always been designed from the beginning. How do I do what it is I love to do passionately? And the reality was I had to create a career. I had to create a business.
Did you come out of the womb with like spreadsheets?
No. I came out of the womb screaming, put me back!
It's cold.
This world is so much different than hell.
I have so many questions.
I even from a young age, like art and music, like that whole thing was surrounding my life. So, my grandfather was a musician, all my aunts and stuff like that played some sort of music. I played piano for, when I was younger. My brother played music. My dad was a guitarist. My mom played banana, but I also love drawing. Like I love drawing. I just love cartoons, but I didn't watch cartoons like, I like the cartoons. I liked them, but I was like mesmerized by the animation. I was like, holy, like, and then when I saw how to do it, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. I was like, how about I just do still illustrations? I was like, I'm not going to draw the same person 3,000 times for 1 minute. Forget that. No, but anyway. So my whole life was dedicated to how do I do this for a living? And slowly but surely, I learned that I had to make opportunities. Like even with music, like when I dropped out of high school, I was like, music's gonna make me successful. But I worked at King Cullen, I worked at the Blockbuster, I worked at Guitar Center. And then something clicked to me. I was like, why don't I just work at these places full time, forget music? Say me working in music was, now I had free time to do whatever I wanted that I had to do, meeting people, going to shows. And I never was like, man, I gotta get to work in the morning, And there's just a certain point where you're just like, oh, well, maybe I do need to make some money because I'm just starting. How do I make money? Oh, I can literally try to make money in the industry because I can afford my life. So if I ask somebody, hey, can I do work in the studio? And they say no, I have to pay the bills Thursday, And then I was like, what are my expertise? What are my strengths? And I was like, wait a minute, for Tenebra, I did the website. I did the marketing. I did this. I did that. I did that. Right. And I was like, oh, I can do all those things for other people in the industry. And then like studios are like, oh, you do websites for lots of money. Lots of money. But that was the thing. Like one of my mentors was telling me basically that you can charge someone $25 or more an hour to do a service. I was like, no, you can't. And they're like, yeah, you can. Because when you get paid $5 an hour or $7 an hour when I work at King Cullen, this is how old I am. You have to remember, I found out my store was making record-breaking $1.1 million a week. King Cullen in Middle Island. $1.1 million a week. And I was making $7.50 an hour.
Yeah.
So I counted up how many employees we had. I counted up how many hours, because you could see all the sheets. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, how much do you think this person's making? And then I just did research. I was like, how much does a manager starting out make? And I just did the math, and I was like, I am not working here for $7.50, And then they would ask me things like, hey, do you want to learn how to do deli? No. Because like in my mind, I was like, that doesn't make sense. But when I was like, you can make 25 or more an hour, you have to realize that $25 an hour isn't my paycheck. That $25 is to grow my business, run my business, pay my bills, and then pay myself, right?
Yeah, that's cost of operations.
Cost of operations. However, when running a business, you're supposed to pay yourself last, and you're supposed to pay everyone else first. So that's why I was like at the end, then pay myself. And a lot of people, especially people that I've worked with that have wanted to get involved with BBR or things like that, the idea of not getting paid while we're growing the company is a befuddling mindset to somebody that is a 9-to-5er. Once you're like in that mindset where you're like, I gotta make money weekly. You know they're not in the long run to make wealth. They're not interested in growth, right? Whereas my whole life, I worked to grow opportunity, and then that would turn into me making money. But I never was like, I need to make, $1,500 for the month or whatever. I never thought like that. And when I did, I never thought like that when I was succeeding. And anytime I did think like that, I would start failing. I would, I wouldn't be getting clients, I wouldn't be getting work, I wouldn't be doing things.
Yeah, because you were thinking in the short term, you had ulterior motives and people are picking up on it.
That's right. Which is the same as releasing an album. So when you release an album, it's an alternative motive, right? You have agendas. But the other thing is like, we need this. You can do other things. You could create opportunities with that. But let's move on to a film. All right. So if there's any filmmakers out there listening to this, I would really love, you could reach out to us and, if you watch the show, we'd love to hear some of your questions, of course, on the live broadcasting of it. And obviously, if you want to reach out to us, go to bbrproductions.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And ultimately, what I'm saying is, anyone out there who's created a short film, an independent feature film, what was your path? Did you say to yourself, we're going to just do festivals, or we're just going to sell it, we're going to put it on Prime, or we're going to, whatever the case may be. And that's how we're going to make money. We'll go to festivals. The festivals will get picked up, or more importantly, you get submitted, and you end up getting into like 15 festivals, and your film actually gets awards for all 15 festivals, right? But are you making money? Did you make money? Are you spending money to make those films? Are you getting investors to spend money on those films, and then the film doesn't make money, and then they're like, well, I'm not interested in investing in the next film. Or they are, and then by the second or third film, they're like, I can't invest in you. You don't make any money. And then you have to find more investors. Is that your path? Is that what you've been doing? Is that how you've been dealing? If it is, please go to bbrproductions.com. Let us know, email us. And this next section is really for you, all of you, all filmmakers, artists, actors, writers, directors, producers. If you want to make money in this business, you have to think distribution. Right? That's your ultimate goal. If you want your show to get picked up on your TV show on ABC, that's it being distributed. When it goes on ABC, that's distributed. Even though the show got picked up, it is still considered distribution because it's going to ABC. That's the market it goes to, right? If you're doing a film and it goes to Netflix, that's distribution. If it goes into the theaters, that's distribution. And you got to know what you got to go through. Sometimes you got to go through an aggregator. Sometimes you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that goes through an aggregator. And then other times a studio has a market. So you ever see like sometimes you could look up studios have like the release of like X amount of films coming out, but they don't necessarily have names on them. They just have dates. Because studios, what they do is they buy up dates throughout the years. They go, we're going to buy these dates. And then they can place whatever movies they want into it. But that's because they have a distribution market, right? Did you know that?
I did not.
See, you learned something.
I learned something new.
Every day this kid learns something new.
Listen, I should just carry like a little notebook around.
Yeah. Remember, girls wipe from front to back. Guys, back to front. That's just how it is.
I mean, people like to wipe their feet however they like to.
What are your thoughts on guys who stand up to wipe?
That's really messy.
I don't understand this method, but apparently it's a thing.
Yeah, no, it's why.
Yeah, why? No, I just lay on the floor and I let
the dog lick.
Yeah, I mean it's clean. Anyway.
You don't have to do any of the work.
Yeah. Moving on. There's a lot of work involved, like crying, therapy. Anyway, so what should a filmmaker do? Right now, first of all,
oh wait, that's my question.
Yeah, JD, what should a filmmaker do?
What should a filmmaker do?
What would you do?
I don't know. What would I do?
I don't know. You tell me. If you were a filmmaker, which you are, what would you do? Okay, cool. But would you do that often?
I would definitely do that often.
All right, we're going to go back to me then. All right. So JD, thank you for that help. If you need to use the bathroom, this is your time. I don't know. Why is the camera all on me? You want to fix that camera? Go fix that camera. You can do that.
I don't know.
Just grab that camera. Just push it.
Camera.
Go ahead. You can do it. I'll tell you.
Let's see.
You want it to go towards you. Towards you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Keep it going. No, a little bit more. You want to get a nice little. Just a little bit more. There you go. Now you're in the shot. Nice. All right. With that said, everything I said about the band, you should do for film. So when you decide to make a film, start talking about the film. Even if you're working on a series, like a web series, a short, whatever it is, you start talking about the process. You start getting the people who are involved to talk about their emotional process. So if you have 10 or 15 people working on this project,
That's 15 people. They have 10 or 15 different perspectives that can be sharing their
experience.
Yeah.
They need to be doing it too, because that's what marketing is, right? But then you should start trying to get press and all these. I know people that when I used to do the radio show at BBR Radio, they would be like, "Hey, I got a movie coming out on Friday. Can I come and do it?" And then while I was talking to them, they're like, "Yeah, we just started our press rounds." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, we finished a movie last month, and we've been doing our press rounds because we're releasing it next week or whatever it was." I was like, "What? That's insanity!" And they're like, yeah, but that's how you do it in the industry. And I was like, whoa.
You're like, hold on.
I was like, don't ever say that on my radio show again. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you can't misinform my audience. Don't do that. I will whip your ass. And they're like, really? What? Well, how would you do it? And I told them like, oh. And then I talked to them. I go, did you make any money? They're like, no. Anyone show up to the screens? No. How many people watched it on Amazon? Oh, we got like 150. Oh, that's cool. Anyway. So, point is, moving. So, if you're going to release a movie or a series or whatever like that, it would simply be like 30 minutes of the crew coming out, the casting, the filmmakers coming out and asking questions from the audience, and also the proctor. The proctor would ask certain questions, right? And then the after party would have the baggie. Now, how much would you charge for these things? Believe it or not, it's not uncommon to do a $20 ticket. For the Sunday. It's not uncommon to do a $30 to $40 ticket for the show and the Q&A. And it's very much not uncommon to do up to $125 to $250 for the show, Q&A, and the after party with the goodies. Now, the thing is, if you can tell people what's going to be sponsored in that goodie bag, that's what's selling at $250. Because if you could get $500 or more in that goodie bag sponsored to you, by simply doing your job and going around that community and getting people involved, you will get people to spend $125 to $250 for that night. So Friday, and by the way, you could also do mixed packages. Like on a Friday, you can have, maybe say half the theater or maybe 3/4 of the theater is the $40 ticket for the show and the Q&A. You just don't go to the after party. And then that 25% of the seats are remaining is all left for the VIP, as you might call them. And then the same thing with Saturday night. You could do a majority of the show. Well, actually, Saturday probably would have to be all $40. But the point is, for that big Friday night, you can make it sell. You know what? If we could sell 25% of the seats as the after party, boom. And then you do the market distribution. So the first show would be, say, in Long Island. The next show would be in Manhattan, then Pennsylvania, then Jersey, then Connecticut. And then if you're making money with this, not only can you go back and say, all right, let's try to hit Atlanta, right? But how do you hit these faraway markets? That's right. You should have and continue always doing your press. You should be getting out there. Even if you're not going to Atlanta to do the press, you should be doing phone calls. You should be doing radio. You should be doing colleges, right? You should be building relationships with communities out there. If there are filmmakers.
And then also having press at these events, premieres, because then you're not only are you, that'll be capturing the during aspect where it's like you did the pre leading up to it, but you have press capturing, this is what it's like at these events. This
Correct.
Is the experience that everyone's having.
Yeah, you should absolutely get the press there to do what you can do, And FiOS, if you have FiOS in your neighborhood, they're always happy to come out and do press on your stuff because they support local artists and stuff like that.
Did not know that.
I know. But now you do. So when you can be like, hey, did you know Ohio is interested. Anyway. To conclude, at that point, that money you're going to be making with your distribution on there, if you could make, let's just say, $20 times 100 seats, that's $2,000, right? If you're selling the $40 seats and there's 100 seats, that's $4,000. If you're selling $125 seats and you could sell, let's say, 25 of those, right? That's 10 would be 12,000. So 12, 24 grand. Did I do that math right?
I don't know. Terrible math.
Well, what's 100 times 10? It's 1,000. Oh, so it'd be 1,000. It'd be 2,000. 2,500. So it'd be $2,500 just for those 25. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that's how you make money with that. Now, at that point, you've proved that you have the ability. Festivals don't necessarily help you make money. Oh, any questions on? Oh, no.
Nope. I was just taking a look and see if we had any questions.
But festivals don't necessarily make you money, and the people that do make money at the festivals have already pre-organized it to do so.
So the festivals will be making money, but the submissions, the videos,
the festivals make tons of
won't
money.
necessarily be making money.
Correct. But a festival itself will make money because that's how
because the
business
festival
works.
is the event, and the festival is doing exactly everything that you have just explained to be doing.
Yeah, and how many people do you know who are filmmakers who have submitted to festivals and made money?
Not a lot.
Well,
I know a bunch of people who work within the film industry who make money, but have also submitted to film festivals, but have not made money through film festivals. Does that count?
that does count, yeah, because again, it's the idea that hey, I have this thing I released, and that's true. Like you do know people. We both know people. In fact, I know someone who's been in huge blockbusters and then got paid a lot of money to be in a crappy independent film, and that film didn't make any money. But yet they had a huge name in it. And the reason it didn't make a lot of money is because they didn't do the prep. Your job is always to prep for the future of, not what you're doing now. And that's why you do press before it's completed. That's why, and then everything you're doing is ultimately like, all right, we did successful with this. How does it influence our next thing? Because everything you do has to affect everything you do. Now, going back to the film real quick, let's say you did make money. Let's say we made, on Friday night, let's say we sold.
We made several monies.
Yeah, what's 40 times 7? That's 40 times 70. 40 times 70 is 7 and 4. Oh, that's $2,800. So $2,800, and then $2,500. That's 2, 4. That's 4. That's 5. That's $5,300, right? So $5,300 for the first night, and then the next night, hopefully, what's 100 times 40? That's 4,000. So 53. That's $9,300, right?
10 grand.
Almost 10 grand. And then the final night, it's all $20, right? So now it's 20. So it's 2 grand.
Yeah, so 12 grand.
11,000. Is it?
Oh,
9,
no,
10, 11. No, it's 11,300.
11,000.
Right.
Sorry.
11,000. So you made 11 grand. You definitely made your money back. Now people are like, but how do you? You've been talking about this project. Everyone. But
everyone in magazines and
blogs, and you're never ever saying the movie's going to be out on December 7th, and it's like a year later.
Because that's full time.
Yeah, because you don't know. There's too many variables. But once the film is done, once you pay for that space,
you have the physical product.
Yeah, and you've paid for the rental space. Now you know that there's a chance to ultimately say Friday the 7th. But I agree in the don't date your material. So if you're in an interview, the moment you say Friday, April 7th, 2019, you're basically, that interview can never be replayed usefully because you're giving dates.
Yeah, because it's revolving around that. It's not talking about the emotional experience that you went through in whatever it is you're talking about.
Which, with every situation, emotional experience can always be shared. So it doesn't matter if it's a year old or 30 years old. They're still gonna be like, oh, that's a great interview.
That's an emotion.
I don't know. I remember having them when I was a child. Then I woke up.
Wait, don't they have like a strawberry flavor?
Don't they a stop? What?
Or like chocolate?
Oh,
they're like stuff, the little koala bears.
Love is overrated. It's compared to the equivalent of a large quantity of chocolate. You know what that's from?
No.
Devil's Advocate. It's Al Pacino.
Oh yeah.
Love is overrated. It's overrated. That's what he says. Keanu Reeves and his like half sister about to make love on the altar, and he's like, "What about love?" And Al Pacino leans like, "It's overrated. Comparatively to a large quantity of chocolate." All right, that's my Al Pacino. So what do you do once you've made this $11,000? Now you know that you can start.
Stack it up and build and roll around in it.
Yeah, you could just get naked, cover yourself in maple syrup. You can say, all right, we've earned the right to do another screening. And then you start preparing the next screening and so forth and so on. Now, here's another thing you should do as a filmmaker. If you're raising money for the film with other people's money, not your own, all right, you should, without a doubt, in the budget, have not only the price that you're going to spend on marketing, but the cost of what your first 2 screening weekends are going to cost. And the reason you do that is because you don't want to pay for that out of your pocket. You allow the budget, which is in every budget in the entire marketing, into the budget.
This way they can have it covered and it can be handled.
Yeah, it's like a producer and they're like, well, I got to get paid. Well, you get paid in the film budget. So once the budget's decided and they raise that money, you get a ton of money, right? So, and I say a ton because producers make the most money. Anyway.
Or that guy who came up with the idea for Terminator 3.
Okay. He didn't make more than the producers did.
He definitely made a lot.
He made a lot of money. But no.
Just for the idea. Hey, we should make Terminator 3.
No, there's no good ideas. How about this one? Oh, shit, here it is.
Was it 15 million? It was a lot.
It was more than it should have been. Money into yourself, right? Because now, technically, you can allocate that money so it pays for the expenses and you cover whatever the initial investment is. But then you start putting the money into you start organizing the money so that a portion of that money is raised to pay for the next turn. Is like owning a studio. When MGM pays for your film, the people who run it are not giving you money. MGM has the money, is giving you the money. So you have to look at your band and also your film career in the same way. As you make this money, you're supposed to organize that money to pay for new things. You have to earn the right to do these things. Good money management. Same thing with a film special. I just saw a comedian who I love. You know, she's amazing, and she just released a comedy special. There's tons of guys too that are just doing the same thing. She just released it, and the first I heard of it was like literally 2 weeks before it was released. I didn't know she was filming it. I didn't, like it just nothing. And whatever you do, you have to start marketing it the day you conjure the idea up. The moment you say to yourself, I want to make video games. I want to make a specific video game. You need to go online
and be like, hey,
I just came up with an idea. I'm beyond excited. This is going to be great for me. I just peed myself a little bit. I need to eat pizza. And then every day, anytime you work on that project, brainstorming anything, you're thinking about it, you're talking about it with friends, you need to talk about it and how you feel. On top of that, you need to start getting press, but not necessarily that you're making a video game or a film or an album or anything. You should just go and be interviewed and just be a personality so people hear you, because people support those they love. Because the rule is people want to watch you succeed. People want to see you succeed, but they don't want to hear about it. And what that means is your audience is there to follow your journey, but they don't want you to tell them what to do. They want to see you succeeding or failing or overcoming perseverance, but they don't want to hear, hey, my movie came out this weekend, you should see it. They don't want to hear that. Does it work? Yes, obviously. You can do the numbers game. Please check me out. 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 Eventually, somebody's going to check you out. That's guaranteed. But the problem is what you're doing is you're relying on that effort. The project does. Yeah. But if you create your organic growth in your marketing now, you're maintaining that audience because they are interested in you. They're not being told to be interested in you. And even though some of those people that you tell to be interested in you may maintain a relationship with you, you're not creating extreme growth and longevity. And that's what branding ultimately does. What are your thoughts, JD?
I mean, I feel like every time I do this podcast, there's just a giant heavenly light that comes down. But that also just might be like the really bright light above us.
Bright light,
the sun
bright
coming
light.
through the window.
What's your favorite part about having learned the business and seeing it in action?
That's a good question, actually. I think my favorite part of learning the business is
that I don't make this stuff up.
Is that you don't make this stuff up. That is definitely true. I think my favorite part is learning that there is a clear, distinct separation between when you're creating art and when you're running the business.
Yeah.
Because me, like before I met you, I had always put a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on myself on creating the art, because I was like, oh, I have to write the perfect thing. I have to write the perfect song, the perfect album. Everything has to be perfect. But once I learned that there is that clear distinction, I had that clarity that I could literally do whatever I wanted artistically, because I could just be like, I want to do this because I just want to. It makes me happy.
Look, man, I thought the death metal album with just cowbells was a genius move.
Me too. I mean, who doesn't like? We had fevers, and the only prescription was more cowbells.
That was cowbells. Very good.
Yeah, but then like, I felt like that just gave me so much more freedom.
Yeah.
And I could focus on art when I wanted to without having any real like pressure on, oh, this is what's going to make or break my career. And then I'd be like, oh, I can just go and interact with people and just connect with people and have the freedom and not have to worry about, oh, I have to go and play a show or I have to go and do a performance. Like there wasn't that pressure. I could just, I can go and hang out with people and like enjoy myself.
But the good news is you can still play a show, and it's not about it becoming a huge success.
But it wasn't a necessity, is what I'm saying.
No, I mean, I know I'm agreeing, but like, a lot of what we talk about, sometimes it sounds like we're saying, don't do anything artistic, and it's not true. It's if you want to play shows, play shows. But
understand that's not what it's not.
Yeah,
it doesn't make your career. It doesn't bring you success.
Yeah, don't put the time and effort into making a show the be all. It's like being a writer. If I make this book,
can you be elected?
Yeah, exactly. I could totally just not feed you for a month and see if these puns still come. I don't like puns. No, I call you the Punisher.
Anyway, writers.
So a writer might have a novel idea. You see what I did there? I don't write these things, and I also don't make these things up. I don't make this up. So a writer is, people. This book will make my career. And Dion Rayborn, I believe that's her name, Dion Rayborn. It took her 14 years to get her quote unquote big break, and she basically wrote 14 books in that time, right? You would think her first book would have did it, but that's not how it works in this industry. It wasn't until she started getting involved more in the community and she really she made a name for herself and things like that. And then like publishers were like, all right, now I'm starting to see your real brand in your book. This is, we know what you're, and plus she wasn't writing what she was writing. She was writing what she thought was, books that would get her success.
She wasn't writing things that she was proud of.
Well, she wasn't writing in her brand, like her voice wasn't in her writing yet.
Like writing a country album.
Yeah, it depends what country. Like we were like, this country is America. Then it would just be, woo, woo, sirens and gunshots and beer. I want some barbecue.
Check, please.
I would love some barbecue right now. Can I get some barbecue? I really am in the mood for barbecue. What about you?
I mean, we could get barbecue. But like
maybe we could barbecue the dog. What do you think about that? Oh, he's laying behind me.
I mean, he's fat.
I know, he's just licking his hoo-ha. Anyway, what do we got on Twitch?
Oh, he said he would buy it, so I told him we'd have it up on Amazon.
Buy what?
Yeah, anything you wrote.
Oh, well, it is on Amazon. Just go to makearightlefthear.com.
You do have a book.
I do have a book. Yeah, go ahead. Makearightlefthear.com. You'll see it. It's called She. 100% of the proceeds go to the TMF, which is Tom Needs Money Foundation. And is that right? TMNF. Oh yeah, TMNF. Yeah, Tom Needs Money Foundation. It's funny. Anyway, So yeah, that's my theory. That's my thoughts on that. And it actually upsets me deep down emotionally when I see people creating and then they don't make any money on it, and then
and their attention is
their intentions is like, this is what makes me, successful. And it's like, this is all I have to say to people that to make a career out of their lives. If you're doing something for 3 years and you're in the same spot without any real growth, or you're where you want to be, or at least heading in the direction of where you want to be, and I'm not saying like, I want to be an actor. I'm still acting in 3 years, so I'm doing good. Like, are you in the roles you want to be in? Are you in the projects you want to be in? Are you doing things that you're proud of? If the answer is no, pivot. Like, change things up. You're definitely doing, and it's okay to be wrong. It's okay not to know what you're doing.
Yeah, we're all human. There is definitely a learning curve.
Except for me.
Yeah, I mean, you are.
I'm not human. I am a robot.
People.
Yeah,
there's always a learning curve. Everyone has a different path. Everyone has a different process to learning.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes in their life. It's.
Yeah, look at my parents. They had 3.
Wah, wah, wah.
By the way, I'm one of 3 kids. Anyway,
You're 3 of 3 kids.
Yeah, I'm 3. Well, actually, technically, I'm one of 5 kids.
No, you're 5 of 5 kids.
Am I 5 of 5
Yeah,
kids?
you're the last one.
Oh, yeah, I am. I'm 5. Yeah, but I'm still one of 5 kids.
Yeah, but in the order, you're the last one.
I am the first one because those other ones were mistakes. I am the pride and joy of my parents. I am the youngest in curls, too. And the youngest one in curls. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to take responsibility of being wrong and going, it hasn't been working. What do I need to do? And ask questions. But really, the secret to success is getting involved. Be involved in your field of interest. Do not work a survival job that is outside your field of interest. Even if you're cleaning toilet bowls at a production company and you want to work in the film industry. Steven Spielberg started as a nobody working at Universal. So like,
he also just snuck onto the lot
a bunch of times.
Tired of kicking him out.
Yeah, they're like, all right, fine, whatever. What do you want to do? He's like, I don't know. I want to be Steven Spielberg. And they're like, all right, fine. Be Steven Spielberg over here working on sharks. Look at all the sharks. I love sharks. You know what movie he did also? He did a Stephen King movie. What's that movie? Do you remember from like the 70s? Is it? No.
No, it's the other one.
Maybe it is
Duel.
It is Duel with the truck and the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie's great.
Is that Stephen King?
Yeah, it's a Stephen King. It's based off a Stephen King movie, book, and then Spielberg, I think, did it, didn't it?
Yeah, because Duel is literally just Jaws, but with a car.
Yeah. Duel. All right. So listen, just ask people, get involved with people, learn from people. If you're working with the same 5 or 10 people for 3 years and you're all doing the same thing and not growing and you all have survival jobs, you got to switch up your company. You got to
adjust it.
Yeah, because the 5 people you hang out with the most become the world you live in. So if you're hanging out with people that are like, we got to make another short. Let's just film another short. And you film like 15 shorts and you're like, what? These cost me so much, like I'm not making money. I'm not growing my career. I did a commercial the other day. Great. I have a manager and agent, but they don't, they send me out occasionally. It's like, well, get involved.
Adjust the business. Or it's some of the advice that you always give, which is fire quickly and hire slowly.
Yeah. But that goes with yourself too. You should fire your options quickly. Like if you're not doing right by you as a company, you got to change it up. You got to be like, I would fire me. Would you fire you? That's how you have to think. Would you fire you? But what do you need to be doing for your job? Well, we say that all the time at the end of the shows. Basically, you got to network, marketing, and practice. You got to manage your time, money, and the people. You got to utilize your entrepreneurial brain to think outside the box to find solutions with proactive effort. You got to increase your talents, not just in what you do as a craft, but also what you do within your field of interest, so you at least have some value or can solve problems for other people, therefore being useful. You also need to organize your money into security, growth, and dreams so you can protect yourself, invest in yourself, and obviously reward yourself financially when you finally go, hey, I would like to go on a vacation. And then ultimately invest in your 8 assets and treat your life like a business. That's your freaking job. Do your job, and you'll be able to do what you do passionately, because a job will reward you to do what you do passionately.
What he said.
What he said. I know I said that really fast, but I would like you to rewind it and listen to it again so we get better statistics. Other than that, remember, keep creating, keep making things that you want to do, but make them for you. Like, create and design and have fun in the art world for you. Just do what you got to do. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you want to make money with that, once you're done being an artist, shut that brain off and go, all right, now how do I market this? And if during that time period, like let's say, for example, you're writing a book or a film. Let's say you're working on a script. When you stop working on a script, your business brain should go, oh, I got to market this. Let me start marketing it for you. Because if the business brain will kill you, just like business. Because the business brain will go, will this sell? And the artist brain goes, this is how I'm going to make money. And the problem is, the business brain should go, hey, what are you passionate about? And the artist brain goes, this. And the business brain goes, all right, I got you. I'm going to sell that for you. It's like when bands come to me, or even like filmmakers. Bands are my favorite, though. They'll always be like, hey, you want to listen to my album? I go, no. And
They did that to me.
Absolutely. And they go, why? And I go, because I don't care. I don't care. And they're like, but don't you need to like it to like book it? No.
I don't know who you are yet.
Yeah. Usually I'll say, do you like it? And they'd be like, yeah. And I was like, that's all I need to know, because why would you want to market anything you don't like? My job is to market what you like and get people to buy it. And they're like, oh, you still don't want to listen to it? No. And they'd be like, can I send it to you? Absolutely. And then like 3 weeks later, like, oh, did you get a chance to listen to it?
No, but I didn't.
Yeah, I played through the whole album, but for some reason my speakers weren't working when I had them off. Even movies, people are like, can you watch my movie? And I'm like, well, why? What do you want me to look? This is what I say to people now, right? They'd be like, hey, do you want to listen to my music? I'll be like, it was awesome. And they're like, you didn't listen to it yet. I know, but it was great. I loved it. I loved everything. Because what do you want me to say? Do you want my real opinion? Because if you want my opinion, I'm not going to like it because I didn't make it. I don't care. Like, there's things that are going to happen in your art that I'm going to be like, I wouldn't have done it that way. That's
because you are you and they're them.
Yeah, because I have my own opinion. But what I love is that you made it. So if I ever see it, I'm super happy for you. I'm like, that's great. You got to do your passion. But if you force me to have to watch it for your validation, I'm going to give you an opinion. And that opinion is not going to be what you like. Don't get me wrong. I have listened or watched stuff where I was like, wow, this is really terrible. I know my stuff is terrible too, because that's the thing. Like, it's great. I love it. That's all that matters. It's art. As long as you love it.
Everyone has what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, it's definitely not a preference. But anyway,
that's why I chose my word specifically.
But it is true. Everyone does like what they like. And this is what I'm trying to instill into the reality of it is, it doesn't matter what other people think. You're the only validation you need in your creation. Because if you need the validation of other people, it's like a comedian. One time I did comedy. One time. And a comedian was like, hey man, they laughed at a couple of your jokes. You're gonna have to work on those jokes. And I go, well, I'm working on the jokes, but I'm not working on it because they didn't laugh. And they're like, oh no, you need them to laugh at everything you say. And I go, I don't need those people to laugh at everything I need to say. I need the people that were laughing at what I was saying to laugh at what I was saying. And they're like, what? I go, if I wrote comedy to follow an audience, I will never find my voice. I will never find my audience, because my audience will find me funny. And my voice will connect with people that find me funny. But if I'm always like, if I do let's say I do a show and the audience loves it. The whole audience is laughing, which has happened, right? But then I do another show and it's just a dead show. I don't get the laughter that I'm like, that is even close to the last show. I got a standing ovation.
Different audience.
It's a different audience. Am I going to go, these jokes suck?
No, you should go, that was a different audience.
Yeah. What I used to do with my comedy though is I'd have an A to D rating. And basically I would do 10 shows and I would film each show. And then at the end of the 10 shows, I would watch every video. And if the laugh lasted X amount of time, that was like an A+ or an A, whatever. And then if the joke, but like and basically I would rate my jokes over the course of 10 performing needs work in my mind. But I'm not rating it on an audience. I'm rating on the overall performance of 10 shows.
Yeah, you're doing the rule of averages because you're going to have different groups. You're going to have different people, different senses of humor in different.
Exactly. Yeah, because there were some jokes every audience I did was just a killer. It didn't matter, and it doesn't mean the audience.
Did they get arrested?
Yeah. I got arrested because I would kill an audience. And sometimes the audience was dead anyway, so I didn't have to kill them.
I mean, that did you the work.
Oh, this audience, they died. No, I died on stage. That was the problem.
Well, I mean, you're pretty lively for a zombie, so.
Pretty. But you know what's funny? I did that with music too. I would film the show, right? And then I would go back and I go, what am I physically doing? What am I physically not doing? Am I engaged in the audience? Am I bored? How are they reacting to the music? Are they liking the music? Did they come to the stage? Did they leave the stage? Are they headbanging? Are they not headbanging? What parts did they get into? And that would create our show. Basically, we go, oh, during this part, we noticed more people would interact during this part. So let's physically make this more energetic. Our stage presence would be more towards the audience now instead of being more towards us. And that's the advantage of filming yourself. Even in theater, like when I do acting, I always film the first 3 shows. And then I watch and I go, all right, well, I like it. Because some directors are not directors. They'll just be like, why don't you stand over here and then walk over there and then you're supposed to be like a cartoon character. And you're like,
why are you talking with a weird British accent? You're from Minnesota.
You're from Brooklyn. You're like, this is a drama though. And you're like, yeah, but you want to be like, a clown. And you're like, ugh, okay. And then whatever. So I would film and then I would just kind of critique myself and see where the audience is reacting, where the audience isn't reacting. But again, you also have to be aware of the material. Like sometimes the audience isn't supposed to be reacting. Sometimes it's supposed to be, because even in a performance, you need what's known as a lull, communication.
This is something too. You could, I think performers and whatever they're doing, whether it's film, stage, comedy, music,
porn, whatever.
It's something that they can talk about, which is part of their part of their journey, part of the experience.
Their process.
It's not about them doing the performance. It's about you as a person want to study the craft because you personally want to be better at your craft and how you feel about it.
Yeah, and you would think me trying to work my craft. I always come off as the anti-craft guy, where it's like, oh, you should be working on your comedy, but that's not the truth.
Yeah, that's not the truth at all. Like you are extremely passionate about the craft, or else you wouldn't be in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
The only difference is that you're like, I want to make a living in the entertainment industry, so I will be a business guy and an art guy over here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, a lot of the people that we meet that are just starting out or just don't understand how the industry works, don't understand that. And they're like, oh, you don't care about the craft. You're like, that's not it at all.
Yeah, because if that was the case, I wouldn't have written 43 acoustic sonds
in 15 minutes.
Yeah. But I didn't write any of those songs to make money. I wrote them to just make them.
Because you love music.
I love creating. I love the process of creating. I like ideas in my head and I like making them come to life. It doesn't matter if it's music or if it's a script, if it's drawing, whatever the case may be. Even when I do marketing for me, it's art to me. Like the process of marketing, like coming up with the right copy, coming up with the right image, even doing graphic artwork, like all that to me is the artist side.
And that's why you have an advantage whenever you do decide to release something. You've done all the pre-work that people have, need to be doing.
Yeah.
Where you've built up the interest. You have your audience that are looking into, following your adventure. They're like, oh, what's going on? So when you do announce that there is something out, there's already built an audience waiting for whatever it is you're putting out to come out.
Yeah. When I released my poetry book, I did it for me because it was free and I just want to release it. I don't care. And I still sold over 100 copies doing nothing. Copies. I just was I put it on my newsletter. I put it on my social media header. And I sometimes, I'm so proud that I finally finished this. The book is out. But I never was buy my book. But like I still sold over 100 copies, and I'm still selling them, and I don't even every once in a while, 1 or 2 copies a month to sell. A lot of people read it on the Kindles, but I made it free on Kindle.
Hold the rooms. It took me forever to transcribe.
At the highest cost possible, it's to create. Again, you want to sell 10,000 albums. You don't want to sell 100 albums for like $30 each. But it's the same thing with movies. When you get the distribution, when you're distributing, you're going to sell it at a price. You're going to license it out to different theaters for a smaller fee.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that a good chunk of the money that is raised for films ahead of time comes through working out distribution deals ahead of time. Am I correct?
That is not necessarily correct for the independent field.
Well, not independent.
But
I'm looking for like larger.
Yeah, like a studio may get a portion of the budget from a distribution deal. It's not always that way, but sometimes it'll happen. But that is an option. But like George Lucas, he might have gotten paid because they knew that there was a return on it. So they were like, we'll pay you this much money for the distribution. Then once you make that much money, then we'll split it, whatever it is, X and X. Because when a movie makes like, $600 million, the studio doesn't make $600 million. There's a distribution fee. But also if you go to the theaters, it's such a small percentage of money that the theater itself makes off of the film. And that's why like popcorn and stuff like that's like $50
for one kernel.
But yeah, no, like the tickets themselves, like, if you're spending $15 on a ticket, I'm probably not even being facetious with this, but like $13 of it probably goes to the studio and $2 goes to the theater itself.
Yeah. No.
And they also pay a licensing fee. So they have to pay to have the movie there. And then, which is insane. But
we don't make this stuff up.
Yeah, I
don't make this stuff up. Thomas doesn't make this stuff up.
Yeah, it's just not made up. We don't make it up. You can literally just research it. I implore you to research it.
Yes, please use the Googles.
Can you use the Googles? I think we got like 2 shows at it. I'll be on. But we'll just do it as one. It'll be a nice long show. Anyway, let's close it up. So JD McGibney, you can check him out at onthewingsofdragons.com.
And Thomas, you can check him out on Make a Right Left Here.
I love how he never ever says my full name. I always JD McGibney.
Thomas J. Bellezza.
See, that's my name. Do you know I introduce myself as Thomas J. Bellezza when it's entertainment? I go, oh, I'm Thomas J. Bellezza. But like if they're friends and stuff, I'll be like Thomas because my brand is Thomas J. Bellezza. And I always tell people that's my stage name. And they're like, what do you mean it's your stage name? I go, yeah, Thomas J. Bellezza is my stage name.
And your name is just Thomas.
But no, my real name is Tomas Joseph Bellezza. It's not even the same pronunciation.
I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to begin saying what my real name is. We'll be here for a week.
Yeah, well, right now, most of your name is actually considered
completely misleading.
That is true. His name is misleading. Literally, that's what I call him. I go, hey, miss. And he goes, what? I go, this is leading over here. I don't want to name my child Leading.
And on that note, you can check out BBR Productions at BBRProductions.com.
That's right. And if you want to listen to JD's music, just go to makearightlefthehere.com. Which,
if you want to listen to Thomas, just flush your toilet.
Yeah, just flush your toilet if you want to hear my music. Anyway, so every Sunday we do this live performance, 3:00 to whenever we feel like going to take dumps. And then every Thursday we release the audio for the previous show.
So this will be up on Thursday.
This will be up on Thursday. And then eventually we'll have episodes with tidbits, knowledge, extra stuff.
And our beautiful faces.
And our beautiful faces on YouTube as a edited version of the episode. So it's like, you get something for each thing.
Yeah.
But thanks for all the questions that we got.
Thank you for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. We're going to stop the show. So, I don't make this stuff up with JD McGibney and Thomas J. Bellezza. We'll see you next Thursday. Sunday. When is it?
I don't know. One of these days.
Thursday. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you over there.
Hey, where are my socks? Oh, by the way, I found the butter. All right, good night.
Ooh. And click.
All right. So we're going to leave the live going. If you have any questions about the show, while we're cleaning up, feel free to ask questions about the show. We'll answer them. That's the advantage of being on the live show. You get to watch us set up. You get to watch the show. You get to ask questions, and then you get to watch us break down and ultimately
ask more questions.
Ask more questions about the content.
Yeah. Watch us be silly. Listen to the dog snore more.
I love listening to the dog snore.
Me too.
What's this?
Wow.
Oh, I wrote this. This is for the people watching.
Oh, you wrote something?
I thought forcing people to.
And we love you and you.
You and you.
We love everybody. Ugh.
I like watching JD work. It's nice.
Woohoo! How's JD?
JD McGibney.
JD. Trust me, sweet child.
Trust me, sweet child.
Whoa, sweet child of mine.
There's a face that we wear in the cool light of day. It's society's mask, it's society's way.
Woohoo.
And the truth.
You are closed down. You're disconnected.
What happened here? Oh, that's a meal for a king, huh? Yes, it is.
What's a meal? I love burgers.
All right, burgers it is. We're gonna have burgers.
Ooh. And we got cornbread. I can make my cornbread.
Oh, yes, you can. You can make cornbread buns.
Ooh. I mean, you can have a regular bun.
I just would like a bun.
You don't want none unless you got buns on?
I don't want none unless you got buns. Baby's got back. I like big butts and I cannot lie. All you other brothers.
Did you ever hear that the hardcore version that Throwdown did back in like the early 2000s?
No.
It's fucking amazing.
It's amazing. Got back.
You still got the YouTube going, right?
Yep. Yes, I do.
I feel like the dog has a superpower of being everywhere that he's most inconvenient.
I feel you are accurate, yes, man. Ooh, baby, I love your ways every day. Ooh, baby, I love your ways every day. What do we got? Hey, 11 p.m. Oh, that's not bad. Have a good night. Have a good week, my friend.
Toodles, adios, and goodbye-bye.
Goodbye-byes.
You're taking my case. When did you get here?
Thursday.
Oh.
Thursday.
Where was good on you? I'm a true Caroline.
Family Guy.
Oh, me dooby dooby doo-bye.
Do 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 do.
Take time for a woman now.
'Cause it has to. I don't wanna ever like I did that day. Take me to the place under. Take me all the way. Hey, hey, yeah. How nice this is. Who did that? You did it?
What?
You did it?
I did.
You did it?
Can I have a charger, please?
You did it? You did it? Ooh, baby, I love your ways every day.
You always want to wrap up your wires carefully, so that's why
Charging your phone.
I am charging my phone.
Put it over there so I can wrap this crap up.
Is this correct?
I want to wrap this crap up. I want to wrap this crap up.
Correct is correct.
Hey, oh.
Ooh.
If I could keep time in a bottle, I'd do so and spend it with you every day. No? Just me?
Yep. Yeah, I know it's fun.
I just want you to know, we'd be perfect together if you just didn't do like 90% of the stuff you do. Well, then we wouldn't be perfect together. What do you mean? Here, can I have this wire?
No, I can help him, Dad.
Let me get this straight. Yeah, I think we would just be great. Great. Cool.
Just don't do any of the things that you just did.
Yeah. I just don't like when you slurp, you talk, make jokes. I don't know if you know what the definition of perfect together is. Trust me, I know.
You got 6 cents at these things.
I do. 7 cents if you count the money in my wallet.
I mean, that's true.
Can you see all that goop, the towel on there? Put it on that show. Please.
We can keep it away from the interdimensional mirror.
Get it away now.
Goodbye.
What is it? What is it? Get it away. No, stay away. Get away.
Let's give it away.
Give it away now. Give it away now. You know, I don't feel constrained. When I wear pants like jeans, I feel like I have to do something. When I wear shorts, like, what do I gotta do? See that? Ladies love this so much they stay away because they don't want me to feel all the love.
I don't think that is accurate.
I think it is. Where has my darling gone?
All right. I think we're good.
All right, so let me close this down.
Oh, this is all.
Oh, all right, Facebook Live.
Toodles, Twitch.
See you later.
Have
Much
a wonderful
love.
day. And where's the day?
Bye.